Good morning and good afternoon, students. I hope you really enjoyed your snow day yesterday. So let's get started. Today we're going to be writing linear equations given a point and a slope. So first we'll have our do now question, which is a question about teamwork that we can talk about. Our objective, as I mentioned, will be to learn to write linear equations when we are given a point and a slope. So remember, all of this, what we're talking about in algebra is linear equations, equations of lines. Our essential question, when I only have the point and a slope, so you have one point and you have the slope, how can I write a linear equation? So we'll watch the video and complete 16 problems today. For our exit ticket, I want you to complete the point slope form of the linear equation and talk about simplifying the point slope form, and turn in your work as usual in assignments in teams. For homework tonight, we have one page on writing linear equations when given a point and a slope. Remember, you're earning that bonus test points for having your camera on during class. And for attendance, you want to stay through the whole meeting. I might call on you at the beginning, the middle, or the end, and submit your assignment in Teams and write to me if you have any questions. Also today, we've got the first section of homeworks, homework 4 through 4.1 through 4.5 are due in assignments. It's a total of 9 pages, so just upload those. If you have trouble uploading photos into assignments, you can send them by email. Write to me if you still have problems, and you can even make a video. So the video is okay as well. Just make sure you clearly show all of your pages. Let's get caught up on anything that you haven't finished up. So let's get that done. So, sorry about that. This lesson was for yesterday, but we had the snow day. So actually, yesterday was National Maple Syrup Day. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, did you know a maple tree can yield sap for 100 years? But it has to be 45 years old before we can start making the sap necessary for maple syrup. It takes an average of 40 gallons of sap to produce 1 gallon of syrup. And although maple trees are found in other continents throughout the world, none of them compare in sweetness to the sugar maple trees of North America. You need those cold nights and warm, sunny days to encourage the sap to flow. But when the buds appear on the trees in late March or April, that sap is not going to make sweet syrup because it turns bitter in flavor. But Quebec, Canada is the world's largest producer of maple syrup, responsible for 3/4 of the world's output, approximately $141 million worth of sap annually. So, sorry about that. So let's get to our do now. Very festive today. Teamwork divides the work and multiplies the success. So we're applying a little bit of mathematics to this notion of teamwork. And what does this mean? And we know that when you work in a group, you have done that, not so much this year because of COVID, but you've divided up the work. One person will be the spokesperson or the recorder, or one person will make the poster board. It's easy to see how teamwork divides the work, but how does teamwork multiply the success? And collaboration is something that we've been talking about over these last few days. So I want you to take a minute and I want you to write your own thoughts right here. So here's our exit ticket. We will get back to that, but let's go on to our lesson, which today is writing linear equations given a point and a slope. Remember, our slope is m, and we write it as rise over run. So to write the equation of the line passing through a point, and we're going to call this point x1, y1, with a slope of m, you can use the point slope formula. The point slope formula is y minus y1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x1. So I want you to think of, let me get the highlighter here, of this x1 and y1 as the point that you are given. Okay, so let's take a few steps and memorize this point slope formula. So the point slope formula is y minus y sub 1 equals m, which is the slope, times the quantity of x minus x1. Okay, we are given the slope, which is our m. We are also given a point. And the point, we're going to call that's our x1, y1. So let's memorize this formula right now. So we've got point slope formula is y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x1. Again, y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x sub 1. Again, y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x sub 1. Point slope formula, y minus y sub 1 equals m, the slope, times the quantity of x minus x sub 1. Again, point slope formula, y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x sub 1. And y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x sub 1. Let's erase the whole thing. Y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x sub 1. So point slope formula, y minus y sub 1 equals the slope, m, times the quantity of x minus x sub 1. So let's do some problems. So the way this works, and this is a highly tested area. Again, this is the real crux of algebra is all about slope. It's about other things too, but slope is a really important, critical part of Algebra 1. So it's really important that you understand the various forms of linear equations and how we manipulate them to solve problems. So what we're asked to do is to write the equation of, it's a darker color, of the line that passes through a given point and has a given slope. So that's what they give us. Now we're going to write all answers in slope-intercept form. So slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So let's get started. We have a slope of 2, and we are given the point 4, 1. So we're going to consider that to be our x sub 1 and our y sub 1. So remember, we're working with y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x sub 1. Be careful of your negatives here. So we start with y minus, and our y sub 1 is the negative 1. It is 1, not negative 1. It's 1, excuse me, positive 1. But we have a negative, we have a minus in the formula, equals our slope, 2 times the quantity of x minus our x sub 1, which is 4. So let's highlight this so that we can kind of see what we did. We've got our x value, we've got our x value and our y value. And our x value, x sub 1, we substituted right here. And our y value, the 1, we substituted right there. So from that point, first we distribute. When you have a problem like this, the first thing you want to do is distribute. So that gives us y minus 1 equals 2x minus 8. And then we solve for y so that we can get to the slope-intercept form, which we'll do just by adding 1, to both sides of the equation. So add 1 there, add 1 there. Y equals 2x minus 7. And that's a final answer. So we have just written the equation in slope-intercept form of the line that passes through 4, 1, and has a slope of 2. So let's go to the next one. So here we have the point 2, 4. They're both positive and a slope of 1/2. So we have y equals, so this is our x and our y sub 1s. So y minus 4 equals the slope, which is 1/2, times the quantity of x minus 2. Now we distribute. Y minus 4 equals 1/2 x minus 1. Half of negative 2 is negative 1. Now we'll add 4 to both sides. And y equals 1/2 x plus 3. And that's the final answer. And that's all there is to it. So why don't you try 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then come back and let's see how you did. The challenge in these next group is going to be the negatives. So remember, if you're subtracting a negative, you're going to add a positive. So I hope you tried a few on your own, even if you only try to write out the equation in point slope form first. That's a start. But number 3, we would have y minus 0 equals 2/3 times the quantity of x minus negative 6 is plus 6. So we can just eliminate the 0 when we rewrite it. Y equals 2/3 x, and 2/3 of 6 is 4, and we're finished. Because we had a 0 here, we don't have that extra step. This problem was a little bit easy, but we had to be careful of the negative. So for number 4, it would be y minus negative 1. So y minus negative 1 is y plus 1 equals negative 3/4 times the quantity x minus negative 8, which would be plus 8. Minus negative 8 is plus 8. So let's distribute. Y plus 1 equals negative 3/4 x minus 6. 3/4 of 8 is 6. Oops, and I wrote 8. I said 6 and I wrote 8. It's 6. So now we subtract 1 from both sides. And we have y equals negative 3/4 x minus 7. So let's move on to number 5. Y minus negative 3 is y plus 3 equals negative 1x. We call that negative x. That becomes a invisible 1. Negative times x minus 4. So the 1 here, let me just kind of put that in. The 1 is here, but it's an invisible 1. So let's distribute. Y plus 3 equals negative x. Negative times a negative is a positive, plus 4. Subtract 3 from both sides. Y equals negative x plus 1. And number 6. We've got our x sub 1 is 0, and our y sub 1 is negative 9. So, and our slope is 4. So it will be y plus 9, because y minus negative 9 is the same as y plus 9, equals our slope of 4 times the quantity of x minus 0. And we'll deal with that just now when we distribute. So it'll be y plus 9 equals 4x. That's it. The 0 goes away. Subtract 9 from both sides. And y equals 4x minus 9. Why don't you try 7, 8, 9, and 10 on your own and pause the video and then come back. Just be careful of the negative signs. Okay, we have our number 7, x sub 1, y sub 1. So we will write this as y minus negative 5 is plus 5 equals m, or 1/3, times the quantity of x minus negative 12, which will be plus 12. Next thing we do is distribute. So we have 1/3 x, and 1/3 of 12, positive times a positive, so that would be positive 4. 1/3 of 12 is 4. We subtract 5 from both sides, and y equals 1/3 x minus 1. Number 8. Here's our x sub 1, y sub 1, slope of negative 3. Plug it in the formula. Y minus negative 8 will be y plus 8 equals negative 3 times the quantity of x minus 3. Then we distribute. Y plus 8 equals negative 3x. Negative times a negative is a positive 9. Subtract 8 from both sides. And y equals negative 3x minus 1. So all of these in slope-intercept form, we can easily graph them. So let's move on to number 9. Here's our x sub 1, y sub 1, and our m of negative 2/3. So y minus negative 9 is y plus 9 equals negative 2/5 x minus 5. And we'll distribute the 2/5. Y plus 9 equals negative 2/5 x plus 2. Negative 2/5 times negative 5 equals 5. You can work that out yourself and you'll see that. So now we're going to subtract 9 from both sides. Y equals negative 2/5. Let's see, x minus 5, 2/5, 5. Oh, I should have put a 2 here. Excuse me. I wrote 5. That should be a 2. I could sense that was wrong. Okay. Positive 2 minus 9, negative 7. So, I'm just going to show you up here. This negative times a negative is positive 2. Okay, number 10, we have our x sub 1, y sub 1, our slope of 1. So let me change the color so it's a little easier for you to see it. So we're going to have y minus negative 7, which will be plus 7, equals the slope of 1 times the quantity of x minus negative 4, which would be plus 4. And we distribute that 1, y plus 7 equals x plus 4. So good for you if you were able to see that that was immediately going to be an invisible 1. So now we'll subtract 7 from both sides. And y equals x minus 3. So we have 4 more problems. Nope, 6 more problems. So I'd like you to pause and try those on your own, please. And then you can come back to the video. So we have our x sub 1, y sub 1, and our slope of negative 4/3. Y minus the negative 1 is plus 1 equals negative 4/3 times the quantity of x minus negative 6 is plus 6. Now we distribute. Y plus 1 equals negative 4/3 x, and 4/3 of 6, negative times a positive will be a negative 8. So negative 4/3 times positive 6 equals negative 24/3, which equals negative 8. Now we'll subtract 1 from both sides, and we have y equals negative 4/3 x minus 9. And number 12, our x sub 1 is 4, our y sub 1 is 9, our slope is 5. Y minus 9 equals 5 times the quantity of x minus 4. Let's distribute. Y minus 9 equals 5x minus 20. And let's add 9 to both sides. Y equals 5x minus 11. Number 13. Our x sub 1 is 3, our y sub 1 is negative 4, and our slope is 0. So y minus negative 4 would be plus 4 equals 0. You can go ahead and write that in, times the quantity of x minus 3. Now what's going to happen? We're going to have y plus 4 equals 0, because 0 times all of that is 0. But we do need to subtract 4 from both sides, and then we'll have y equals negative 4. So this line will go through the origin. Number 14, our x sub 1 is negative 6, our y sub 1 is negative 8. Our slope is m is 5/6, so the rise is 5, the run is 6. So y minus negative 8 is y plus 8 equals our m value of 5/6 times the quantity of x minus negative 6, which is plus 6. So first we distribute. Y plus 8 equals 5/6x plus 5. 5/6 of 6 is 5. So now we'll subtract 8 from both sides. Y equals 5/6 x minus 3. Okay, last 2 problems before we go on to our exit ticket. We have our x sub 1 of 4 and our y sub 1 of 1 and a slope of negative 1/4. So y minus 1 equals negative 1/4 times the quantity of x minus negative 4 is plus 4. Now we distribute. Y minus 1 equals negative 1/4 x minus 1. Negative 1/4 times 4 is minus 1. Add 1 to both sides. So we're isolating y so we can get in that slope-intercept form. Y equals negative 1/4 x, and negative 1 plus 1 is 0. There's no need to write plus 0, so we can leave it at y equals negative 1/4 x. And our final problem, our x sub 1 is 7, our y sub 1 is 8, our slope is negative 2. So y minus negative 8 is y plus 8 equals negative 2 times the quantity of x minus 7. We distribute. Y plus 8 equals negative 2x plus 14. Negative times a negative is a positive. We subtract 8 from both sides, and y equals negative 2x plus 6. So for homework, you have a page of those. 1 page, 10 problems. It shouldn't take you too long. I know you're Christmas shopping, so let's complete our exit ticket. The point-slope form of a linear equation is y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x sub 1. First, I must distribute, and you're distributing the m value. And then I must solve for y. Okay, make sure you've memorized this. I see a lot of you are really keeping up in your algebra. I'm super, super happy about that. I think for today, I will draw you a little Christmas ornament. And keep on practicing. A lot of you are doing a great job. I'm really proud of you. And with that practice, you will become really good at this and you'll be great.